Hello and welcome to the Thoughtfully Made Fiber vlogcast. Today is January 15th and here in St. Louis, Missouri, we're having a wonderful, snowy winter wonderland day. My kids and my partner Roy and I live here together, and I am a knitwear designer and a spinner also. And we spent the morning just zooming around on a sled with the kids and dragging them around and taking some pictures for my next pattern release. And it was all just a super great time. And we're so glad that winter is here and that we get to enjoy this beautiful season. I am new to the region, but I'm really enjoying it. The kids are having a blast. So today I am here to tell you a little bit about all the things that I've been making and some big ticket items that I have acquired since my last vlog. I hope you're all doing well and that you're all staying warm, and I can't wait to share everything with you today. So let's get into it once I take a sip of my hot coffee, which has like sunk down. It was like this tall when I made it, and then by the time I set up everything for the vlog, it sank down and it's not as cute anymore. Alright, so let's get into it. Today I am wearing my transition slipover vest. It is a pattern that I designed quite a while ago, but it finally got released this week. And it's been quite a busy week, but I'm really happy to finally be able to share it with the world, because it's kind of like I've been hanging on to the pictures and like trying not to share too many details and all of these things for months and months and months. And it's my very first garment release, although not my first garment design. More on that later. So the transition slipover. It is a reversible vest. I'm wearing the V-neck side today, and the other side is a round neck, which I'll show in the picture here. It has a side button band, which I love. I'm wearing it slightly open today for that like split hem look. So you can unbutton the sides to create different looks and wear it front side or back side. Very versatile piece. Somebody in a Facebook group that I posted it to said today that it would be good for a capsule wardrobe, and I just realized that's true, and I wish I had put that in my marketing materials because I did not think of that, and it's very true. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing it over a ready to wear flannel because it's cold and I haven't quite got the guts yet. I have a pattern that I want to sew for this kind of flannel, but I have the guts to do it because the pattern matching on the sewing is quite challenging. But that's one of my sewing hopes of 2022, is that I hope to tackle like at least one challenge like that. So look out for that, that's coming soon. So I have a sore throat, and even though I am triple vaccinated, my whole household is fully vaccinated, we're still a little bit worried. So we're hunkering down at home, and after this, I'm gonna go and take a test. And we just want to be responsible and not go out while I'm symptomatic. I've been struggling with my allergies since we got here to St. Louis, so it's really tricky to tell whether it's just a really bad day of allergies or if it's, you know, that other thing. So bear with me, and we're gonna get through all of this stuff. So I wanted to do what I'm wearing first because I wanted to tell you about this pattern. Oh yeah, the pattern will be, I'll put the links to Ravelry, Payhip, and my website below. You can purchase it at Ravelry or Payhip. If you're interested in my patterns, I'll put it all down there. Everything I talk about today will be in the description box below. And as always, this episode is fully captioned. So moving on, I want to talk to you today about acquisitions because I bought my spinning wheel. I'll insert a little footage here for anyone who did not watch my spinning wheel assembly video, which is totally understandable because it was quite long. This is the Kromski Symphony, and it is my dream wheel. When I started my knitting design business, it was my goal to save up over the course of the first year enough profit so that I can afford to buy this wheel. Because of the pandemic, I lost all of my students, my piano students. Not all of them, most of them. Some of them are still doing remote learning. At the very start of the pandemic, which is part of why we moved here to St. Louis, because Los Angeles was just so expensive on a single income. So there's no way I could have afforded such a lovely wheel. And I think I talked about it in a previous episode. I have a really hard time spending money on myself because of the way I was raised. So I finally did it because I was having some issues with my Ashford traditional, just clickety clackety clickety clack. It was very chattery and I could not get it to stop chattering. So I was like, I've made enough from my design business, I can buy the wheel. And I ordered the wheel, and then my Ashford traditional stopped clacking. So there's that, but now I have this beautiful new wheel, and I am here to show you some footage from the assembly and hopefully some spinning footage. But let me also show you what I have made with it. Okay, so these 2 skeins of yarn were my first 2 spins on the Symphony. And what I like to do is I like to make a little tag with the yardage and the fiber content, where I got the fiber from. This one was just raw heathered BFL non-superwash, and it's so soft. And it came out kind of an Aran weight. And I'm thinking about knitting, I think it's called the Tiilda Hat, because I've knit one before as a gift for somebody. It's by Inese Sang, and I love that pattern so much. But I never got the chance to knit it for myself, so I'm thinking I might need one because it is chilly here, and I realize my Puri, my sport weight hat is probably not warm enough, and this would definitely be warm enough. Because it's my first spin on the wheel, it's quite thick and thin, and that's okay. That's part of the nature of learning and of hand spun. And when I first started knitting or spinning, I was all about precision spinning. I wanted to get the most precise, the most thin, the most consistent yarn. But the more I spin, the more I realize I spin to relax. I don't spin to be hard on myself. So these days I just spin because I like it, and I kind of zone out and spin whatever I want. And it's not a big deal, and then I find a project for it. And that's the way I like to spin. But yeah, so there's that. So that one is the first one. BFL is super soft. This one has been washed, and it shrank quite a bit. You can see the height of it compared to a skein that was wound up onto the same knitting knotty, that it looks quite different. So this one is also 100% BFL, just because I wanted to do a second BFL project because it has a longer staple length, and I wanted to practice some more, and I wanted to make a thinner sport weight yarn. So this one was from Greenwood Fibers Studio. I'll put a link to everything below, of course. But this one is from their Birthstock Club. This one was called Amethyst, and I have not washed or measured it yet. So we will find out what the length is. I'm really happy with this. This looked quite stark, the colors were really defined and patchy in the braid, but once spun up, it's really gentle and beautiful. I think it might be a beautiful pair of mittens or a hat or something, some lovely accessory for one of my girls, and maybe a matching one for myself too. And it's also non-superwash. I'm really in love with spinning non-superwash yarn because it's not as slippery, so it has a really woolly textural feel, just that feeling that I love. about spinning. So because of that, I purchased some new fiber. I wanted to put this wheel through its paces and try out all kinds of different things. So I got some farm fiber. Let's see, this just got here today. And it's from my friend Anne at Ann Leaf Livestock. She's a farmer over in Illinois. And she wrote me a nice note. That's so nice. Okay, so she wrote, I forgot to mention the wool was cleaned at the mill with the suet fermentation method. Check that out, but essentially the wool washes itself with the sheep's sweat. So interesting. It's a wool that still smells a little sheepy, and that's why it'll wash out after spinning, I think. What an interesting concept. And the yarn is a blend. She says that it's a blend between a ram named Trouble, because he is trouble, but she says that she kept him because he makes such beautiful wool, but that he's trouble. It's blended with her neighbor's black alpaca. So let me grab a bit of it out for you so you can see. Ooh, look at that. Oh, so sheepy. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? So I do find that farm wool and farm yarn tends to be a little bit more textural and more rustic, and I really love that about them. And I don't think I've spun any farm fiber before, so I'm really excited to dig into that one. More acquisitions now. All right, I bought some yarn that I'm really excited about, which maybe nobody else will be excited about, but I got 2 each of these colors. They're the Regia 6x3K weight stock yarns in 2 heathered colorways. I am teaching a sock class this coming week. By the time you see it, it'll be this week. But on the 22nd and 23rd, I'm teaching a class about sock knitting in kind of like a heavy DK, like worsted gauge. It's called the Choose Your Own Adventure Socks. And it's just like a customizable vanilla pattern with a bunch of cuff and heel options. So I bought these to try out this week and demo it on the weekend. I have plenty of non-superwash yarn, just like the picks, but I wanted to make sure I check out this option also because I've heard that this yarn is like incredibly hard wearing, so I'm really excited to try that. I know I often show yarns that are like really fancy and really expensive here, such as the Tov that I'm wearing, but it's important to me that I try out these like old school standard yarns that everybody knows about, but maybe you don't knit with as much anymore because there's so many options. I think it's good to revisit the classics. So there's that. So let's see, let's move on. So I've already shown some of my finished object of spinning, but I wanted to show this sweater, which is a little damp because we just went outside to photograph it. But I finished my View B of my coloring book Raglan. I'm really super happy with how it turned out. Aaron's yarn from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. This is a non-superwash merino, and it's just so crimpy. Like you can feel the crimp as you knit it because it stretches out a ton. As you knit it, it has like that real bounce back to it that I love about merino, which I know is super cliche. But I really enjoy knitting it. I enjoy wearing it. And today we took some photos that I think I'm really happy with. I've done the initial edits, and I think I'm really happy with them. I'll pop a couple here as an insert. But I'm really looking forward to this release. The coloring book Raglan is a modular pattern with different sleeve and body length options and shaping options for the sleeve. And just in the base pattern, if you mix and match like the sleeve and the length and the striping options, there's at least 16 versions that you can knit up just from the base pattern. And I'll also be teaching another class at some time next month about modifying this raglan sweater even more and making it your own in a myriad of different ways. And I think a lot of knitters don't realize, and I certainly didn't realize until I started designing, that you can do so much with the base pattern. Like if you have a raglan pattern that fits you well, or any kind of pattern that fits you well, it takes very little work, very little math to totally change it into something different. So if you like want to copy a ready-to-wear shape and you can't find a pattern, you can just make your own and modify a pattern that you already have, already love, that already fits you well. And I'm really hoping the coloring Book Raglan becomes that base for a lot of people. I've talked about it before and I'll talk about it more in the future, but I finally finished it. And then when I saw the severe winter forecast yesterday, I like wove in all the ends and washed all my laundry so that we could take pictures today, and it was worth it. It was super fun, and the kids had a blast, like running around, sledding around while we shot a few pictures. And Roy told some jokes that made me laugh, and I feel like today's picture day was like relaxed, and even though it was snowy and I couldn't see and some of the shots didn't turn out, it was fun. And I hope that joy of making, like the joy of making your own sweaters, really comes through in the pictures. And I look forward to sharing more of that with you very soon. So I am knitting a cardigan, knit with 2 bases mixed. And these are Bien Aimee's yarns. This one is a fingering non-superwash. I'll put the name of it in the colorway here. I think it's called Hagalia. And this one is the same color in Kumo. They're Suri Alpaca base, also in Hagalia, and it's just so chunky and thick and nice. I'm holding these together and making a cardigan. It has a round yoke construction, and it has this little garter ridge in the yoke. I don't know if you can really see it, but that ridge will become something after the fact. So I really love this construction. It's actually a hybrid round yoke construction. The yoke is done in round increases until after the design element is over. And then once it gets past the armpit split, I don't like it when there's a round yoke that just like keeps going forever in this area, and then it kind of gets like saggy and weird there. But I do like plenty of wearing ease in the body of my sweaters. So my favorite sweater construction for a round yoke design element is ones that have a raglan at the very end of shaping. So it's top down. You do some round increases, the design elements, all those things. And then there's like a little raglan to add shape just where we need it and not all the way around, which makes like, you know what I mean. So I'm really excited about that. Like I know theoretically, mathematically how to make it work, but grading this was quite a challenge for me. So I don't seem to do the same thing twice ever. So far in my pattern design, eventually I'll run out of shapes that I've already done, like new shapes that I haven't already done, and I'll have to repeat myself. But right now I'm just really enjoying like the mathematical challenge of making a spreadsheet template, a new one every time for all the different constructions that I've been making. And that's just part of design that I find challenging and interesting. Like I complain about it while I do it all the time, but considering that even 2 months ago I needed so much help from my tech editor and grader, Jessica Schwab, she's great. I feel like I've grown so much because I've read like 1,000 books about it, and I've studied so hard, and I really feel like I'm able to get the fit and the results I want using a spreadsheet rather than just winging it and frogging it, then winging it, then frogging it. Of course, there's always still frogging, but I'm really glad that I'm learning some essential like design life skills to prevent the numbers I have to frog. So that is my whip. I hope to turn this in to my tech editor next week. So I've got a lot to go. I want to finish the body this weekend, and then knit the ruffle and one sleeve by the end of the week. So I've got quite a lot to do. It's Saturday today, so I've got like a week before I have to want this thing. But I'm making pretty good progress. And then I promised myself that after this pattern, I will rest because I have a tendency to work too much. I'm like a workaholic, and I really want to make this year the year of rest and not burning out. So after this pattern is due next week, I will rest or will knit some patterns for my kids, like other people's patterns, so I don't have to think. I will buy some Newton. I just purchased the pattern for Wetherell Pullover, I'll put a picture here, by Kiyomi Burgin, which is like such a beautiful, incredible pattern. And I plan to knit it out of some Newton from, not like from my stash, but from a collection that's coming up. And where was I? Oh yeah. So I have some plum and cream knitted on the spun yarn that I showed before. And I think I want to knit up like a third permutation. How many samples can I knit? But I really want to knit it for myself because I really want like a really thick, airy Midwestern winter sweater. And I'm thinking this stripe scheme, this length, body length, but with long, wide sleeves, so like totally unshaped, but with this stripe scheme, like the edge, the preppy edge stripe scheme. So this one has like a fully shaped sleeve, but I'm wondering if I should do, like with Newton yarn, if I should do like a unshaped wide sleeve, or if I should do a shaped sleeve, so like basically this, or if I should do a cropped body, because this one is full length, or if I should do the stripes. There's just so many permutations that I'm like really lost on which one to pick. There's just so many. That's why the pattern will come with a little PDF, a free PDF. So before you buy it, you can color in like all the different permutations. And hopefully the next time I come and I talk to you, I can link to the PDF and you can try it out for yourself and see which color combos and different shape combos you can come up with. So it's a modular pattern, very customizable. Stoked about that. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. Yeah, like all my acquisitions are either like, I bought this from my friend's farm, or like this is for work. One of the things that I'm trying to do this year is stash less. I really want to work through my personal stash because during the pandemic, I kind of bought like yarn. I bought a lot of stock yarn because I was stuck at home. I had nowhere to go. Lost my job. Had nothing to do. Did so many socks. And eventually I got into designing, but then now I have a personal non-work stash that's just like sitting there. So, like I said earlier, after the current cardigan pattern I'm working on, have a rest, take a break, evaluate my stash, knit through it, and probably the Newton update that's coming up is probably going to be my last yarn purchase of the year. I have quite a few collaborations coming up, so my collaborators are very kind and they put their faith in me and send me yarn, and I try my best showcase their wonderful work. They're all artists that I love and have followed a long time. So it's a dream to be able to do what I do. I'm really excited for that. So I'll still have plenty of things to show you, but you'll also probably see me knit more from my own stash and do more personal knitting. And I hope you enjoy that kind of thing. What are your knitting goals for this year? I know in previous years I really wanted to learn new techniques, but I've honestly done most of the knitting techniques that I want to learn. There's like one or two more, but I don't feel in a rush to be all learning new technique type of knitting because I am a designer and I'm already stretching my mind in new and different ways, which is really exciting. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Please let me know how you're doing. I'm always happy to hear from you all. I hope you're all well and staying healthy. Things are scary out there, and during this scary time, I'm glad that we have the space to sit together and drink coffee or tea or whatever together and sit down, and I'm glad I get to talk to you about the things that I love and the work that I do, which I love. I love doing this every day. And being able to have this meditative and soothing spinning and knitting practice in my life has been a lifesaver this year. So I hope that you find something that brings you comfort and joy in these difficult times, and that you stay safe and you stay healthy out there. I'll see you next time.